Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with somebody near and dear to my heart, Randi Tanenbaum.
What's up, Dr. Snyder?
Are you going to call me Dr. Snyder the whole time?
I mean, I thought about it, maybe at least one more time.
Well, you know, you're actually supposed to call me Daddy on the show, so if you're going to play by the rules, do you want to call me Dad? No? No? Okay, just me? No, not happening?
Yep, never, ever.
Well, I'm very excited to have you. You are somebody near and dear to my heart because you and I have a love-hate relationship, which is that fair?
I mean, it's more love.
It's a little hate.
There's like this much hate.
You love to hate me is what it is. Or maybe it's hate on me.
Yes, I hate on you because you're like annoying sometimes.
Sometimes? We can end this right now. You're supposed to come on here and be like, oh, Daddy, you are so great. You are so funny.
No,
not happening. Well, I appreciate you doing this podcast from what it looks like to be a lovely closet. You know, for the people who aren't watching us, most of our fans listen to us, but definitely check out Booze Your Daddy on YouTube. You can see the whole video of the lovely, lovely Randi. The camera doesn't pan low enough to get the full set of what she has to offer.
You're beyond. My husband's going to listen to this.
Well, that's the real story is, your husband is one of my number one fans, and he has not asked to be on the show, but you have, and I'm definitely always willing to have you on, like I said, because you've been there for me so many times, year after year, and for so long, and we also have something special planned for the episode. You say that like you don't know. No, but the truth is, Randi, I love you because you're the owner of two of my favorite people in the world. Your husband and your daughter.
That's fucked up.
I'm just saying, I mean, if anything, you own your husband, probably don't really own your daughter. Yeah, have you ever seen those memes where it's like, I want a man who's going to look at me the way, and then it just goes on the way this person looks at that. Yeah. I want a podcast audience that looks at me the way your daughter of 3 years old looks at me. That's what I want.
She loves you.
She is.
And it's concerning.
Why?
It's concerning.
She's 3 years old. She's my number one fan, and I love her to death.
Well, she's going to be 4.
Oh,
at the end of this month.
Good job, Uncle Alan.
You should know these things. But also, it's like, you don't make very good first impressions. And like, she liked you immediately. And so I'm just like, what's wrong with her?
We are going to talk about first impressions because that tends to be the theme of this episode. But before we can do that, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty, Rand?
I'm thirsty. Always.
All right, Mama Bear. What are you drinking?
Got some vino.
You got some vino. It looks like a dark vino, like a red.
It's a red. It's a Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
As Marnie would say.
I've seen the videos of yours.
Yeah.
What does mommy, when the kids do like the fake, like, oh, I'm going to make you salad. I'm going to make you cake. She turns to you, she goes, Mommy, I'm going to make you a glass of wine. You're like, oh, Jesus, what type of wine? What type of wine, Marnie? And she goes, Pinot Noir.
It's true. And she says it properly. And it's really the only thing I taught her during quarantine. So is wine time.
Wine time is great. Well, that sounds lovely.
Wine time.
I got this beautiful pink beer can. It is called Guava Gose, not Gose. It should be Gose all day. But a Gose is a sour beer, which I thought is kind of applicable. But it's more importantly because I wanted to ask you a question is, Randi, do you accept this Gose?
No, it's going to be gross.
Yeah, but that's a Bachelor joke, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So do you want to do a second take of that? Like, do you accept this Gose?
Yeah, sure. We can do it again.
No, we're not doing retakes. All right. Before you start drinking, I'm going to crack my beer.
All right. Open your beer.
Beautiful. L'chaim.
L'chaim. I bet it's going to be gross. Taste it.
Yeah, it's pretty guava, coriander, and Himalayan saltish. Disgusting. The right answer for what you were supposed to be drinking was Rosé. That is really what you should have had for this session.
It's true. I failed.
Yeah, pretty much. Mainly because you and I wanted to get together to record our first episode because this week, The Bachelor premiered.
Bachelorette.
Oh, that's right. There's a difference. To me, it's all the same. I get twisted into watching this, and I hate every second. And I don't want to go through this.
You do not hate it. You love it.
I hate watch it.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I definitely hate watch it. So I wanted to talk to you about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette for a bunch of reasons. Now, you already kind of brought it up about first impressions, which is so important on this show. And as you've mentioned, maybe I don't make the best first impressions.
You don't. You don't.
Do you remember?
You really don't.
Do you remember our first meeting? The very first time I had the pleasure of meeting you? I remember it very specifically.
You have to refresh my memory.
So I came up to Long Island, I think, to drop my bubby off at a wedding, I think near there. And maybe I went and saw Jones for a day, and I texted.
I'm sure you slept over, too.
I did. And I texted Steve, like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, come over, whatever. And I think you guys had been dating for a hot second. It couldn't have been more than like a year. It was probably like 6 months, 8 months. You were close enough.
Yeah.
And I then took the Long Island Railroad to the city, to the Path. And then from there, the Path, I walked to his apartment, which I thought, like, how big is Hoboken? It was a 30-minute walk from the Path train. He lived nowhere close.
No, he was far, because that was his first apartment. That was the one with, like, that crazy staircase, right?
I think it was. And yeah. I come up and I think he had let me know that he was dating this new girl, and I was very excited to meet her. And you guys were sitting on the couch, and I come in the front door, and I think I normally you're supposed to knock on the door and wait for them to answer, but I think I did a knock and I checked and it was open. So I just came in, and you were kind of caught off guard, and you had a blanket on you, and you're sitting in the corner, and you stand up, and I walk over, and I don't know if we're getting ready to do a handshake or a hug. And I kind of just look down, and the first thing I noticed was one of your toes isn't exactly on board with the other four. Now, it is...
First of all, there is no fucking way that is the first thing that happened.
I mean, it was oh my God, hey, how's it going? And you went, Snyder, and you go to stand up. And as I'm walking over, I look down, and correct me, but I think it's your middle toe is just a little shorter than the rest, which is not a deformity. It's very normal. And I walk over and I'm like, hi, it's so nice to, what the hell is wrong with your toe? And you went like, what a fucking asshole. That was the very first thing I said to you.
But I mean, it's been 12 years and you won't stop talking about my toes.
No, I haven't brought it up since. Oh, I have a lot of things wrong with me. How much time do you have? You might have to go get out another bottle. So, yes. And then, of course,
talk about my toes.
I have not brought it up since because I remember I am the worst. But because, your husband always brings up how I make the terrible first impressions, and then I'm like a fine wine. You get to know me a little bit more, and then you realize that I'm actually a really sweet person. But you're not the first person. You guys aren't the only people in my life that think I do that. So...
It's true. And I remember meeting another one of your college friends who gives very good first impressions, but then really you get to know him and you're like, you're the worst.
He doesn't listen to the show. We'll just say first name starts with the letter T.
It's true. He's the worst. And you first meet him and you're like, he's nice. And then you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he's a pretty weird guy.
He's the worst.
So as it comes to first impressions.
Okay.
The show, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, the first impressions are everything. Agreed?
Yeah, for sure.
My question to you is, you are the Bachelorette, okay? So you are the piece. You're the dime piece that all the guys get out of the car. And you've seen how many seasons of the show? You've seen the best
all of them.
The worst impressions. What is your ideal guy or girl, I'm not judging, who gets...
In my next life, maybe.
The guy gets out of the limo, the van, or whatever his entrance wants to be. What is your ideal, that is exactly what you won the show.
Okay, here's the thing. The guys that come in, the costumes and, the cars that, are, breaking the rules, I'm not into it.
Not into it. Okay.
Be in the limo with everybody else. And then don't say something cheesy. Just say something nice, maybe a joke, and then be on your way. No awkward moments. I'll definitely feel like you should hug. I would, as a bachelorette, I would want a hug. I don't want a handshake.
What about the kiss on the cheek? Because that happened during this opening episode. You liked it. You're into it. Kiss on the cheek.
It. And it was weird that he was the only one that did it.
I'm not judging any of these jokers. Now, what about a hug where you smush the balloons, too close, if you know what I mean? Because as somebody who has, a decent amount that they're working with, are you into that or no? Like if I came
Are
in,
you gonna talk more about my boobs or more about my toes tonight?
well, so far it's 1 on the toes and 2 on the boobs. So as long as I don't strike
Okay.
out, I get 1 more for the toes.
Okay.
Okay, so you're saying the person comes up now. Your maiden name.
No, I like a good hug. I want like a strong hug.
Strong hug. So your maiden name is Meltzer, or was Meltzer, I guess. That sounds so morbid. Yeah. If somebody would come up and is like, I would just love to make tuna meltzers with you, and then they give you a good hug, would you think that's quirky, cute, or just be like, carry on?
Depends how hot they were.
That's the rule of thumb, is the line between cute and creepy is how attracted you are to the person, right?
It's like the How I Met Your Mother episode.
Exactly. They hit the nail on the head.
Crazy hot scale.
I always use, that's not exactly what the crazy hot scale is. That's how crazy you're willing to deal with. I'm talking, no, completely wrong, Randy.
No.
Crazy hot scale I get. It's how crazy you will put up with somebody as depending on how hot they are. I'm saying is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I always give the example of, if I don't even know who girls think are attractive anymore. I always say like Brad Pitt or George Clooney comes up to you and it's like, oh my God, I would love to cut you into little pieces and then take a piece of you every day to work just so I could remember you. I've said that to girls and they just go, yeah, that'll be pretty cute. I would be into that. And I said, and if I said that to you, they're like, oh no, I'm calling 911 and this conversation's over. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's not for me.
Okay. So we've established that as far as your ideal entrance up to you. Now, let's flip it around. God forbid there is some type of, there is some type of virus that takes over people, men in the world, over the height of 5'5", and your husband no longer ceases to exist. Okay. You then have to
You're so fucked up.
You now have to go back to the dating world, and you end up on The Bachelor Senior Edition, right? Because at this point, we're hoping it's way down the line.
Right.
Not to mention, you're almost a year older than me.
So fucked up. I know, I'm going to be 38. I feel like I'd already be on the Senior Edition of The Bachelor.
You are now thrown into the limousine. What is your ideal getting out of the limo and then you have to go up to the next bachelor? What would you do? How would you do it?
I think I would give what I would want. I would introduce myself. I would give a nice hug. I would definitely come up with a cute joke. And then I would be on my way and make sure like the back of my dress was really cute. Mm-hmm. So the walk away was,
okay. I'm not commenting on the front of your dress because I don't want to strike out of this podcast already.
It's true.
All right, so let's go.
5 minutes.
I'm the bachelor. You got out of the limo. Let's role play.
Then I'm getting back in the limo if you're the bachelor.
You would get out?
Yeah, I'm back in.
Oh my God, you'd be so lucky. Be the best 7 minutes of your life, Randy.
Yeah, huh?
All right. Now, you know what you said? You said I would do what I would want. You know that that's the golden rule that's not how that works anymore. And as your kids get older, they're going to learn that the golden rule is not treat people how you wanted to be treated. It's treat people how they want to be treated.
That is true.
That is true.
That is true.
All right. Can I do it? Can I go? Do you want to ask me the same question?
Go. All right.
So let's first start.
You're the Bachelorette.
I'm the Bachelorette. I tell you what. No. If I got to get this right. So if I was on the Bachelorette, I think I do kind of similar to what you said. The gimmicks are not really that cool, like the straight jacket and people who bring props and all that. I'm not into that at all. I would get out. I would not be nervous, which is, I think where some of them go really wrong is when they stand there and they go, I'm so nervous. I would walk up. If anything, I would crack a joke like, man, this is crazy. Like, look how many cameras there are. Like, I would just definitely take their level down. I would be super calm, super confident. I would probably say something cute. I would lean and give them a hug and say like, I look forward to meeting you, and just give them confidence, give them a smile. But I'm with you. The gimmicks, not so good, except there's just 1 or 2 things that I would say. 1, women love tiramisu. Okay. I don't know who you are, where you're from. I have never met a girl that doesn't love tiramisu. I think I might bring a slice of tiramisu. Bitches love tiramisu.
I feel like you're not wrong in the snack department, because I would be into a snack because I feel like they're there for so long. And it's like, where's the food? Like, they leave after that first rose ceremony, and it's like daylight.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Hours.
Right. So maybe now you're thinking like, oh, Snyder brought some tiramisu.
Yeah, I would prefer a cannoli.
I bet you would prefer a cannoli on that show.
You're disgusting.
So, yeah. So you say snacks are good. And then the other thing, which I was kind of debating on is I think a rosé joke is good too, because that works into like, you pop a quick bottle, you take a sip. Because if I was, and
will you accept my rosé?
Will you accept my rosé is by far the number one answer on the board. Show me, will you accept my rosé?
It's a game changer. I love it.
Right? Okay, so now
I love it.
I show up, I crack a bottle. I got to keep it cold and go, will you accept my rosé? Of course, I would probably get on the episode where the girl's like a recovering alcoholic. They're like, oh, sorry, doc, can't do this.
I got to be honest. There is no way they're putting anybody on that show that can't drink, because everything that goes on there, the only way to survive, it feels like, is to be drunk all the time.
Yeah. So that would be probably my go-to move. And then I'm also like you. If I was on The Bachelor, I definitely do not want somebody coming on with one of these really cheesy things. Now, one, I love pizza. So you show up with some pizza, oh, you get a point. Especially
again, but that goes along with the snacks. Bring the food.
Bring the food, pine and pep all day. A slice of that is where I'm at.
Ew.
Yeah, I know you guys think it's weird. It's Hawaiian pizza sub ham for pineapple for pepperoni. Stop it.
Gross.
You're gross. And then also bring me a beer. Bring me something you're like, hey, I'd love to share a beer with you. I'd love to winner. And I would hold that beer. Either one, I'd chug it. Or
I hope it's not that beer, because that beer sounds disgusting.
You're not a beer lover. I like beer.
Yeah, but that is guava and whatever.
You clearly don't know me that I enjoy fruit and different types of beers. But whatever. It's one of them. You suffer through it, and then I can go to the fridge and get something else.
Right. Whatever. You do you, boo. Get it?
Thanks, boo. The only problem that I have with people who do those little gimmicks, we'll call them, is probably one of my favorite Bachelor contestants was Tia from Weiner, Arkansas, if I remember correctly.
I follow Tia on Instagram. She still sounds like that.
Do you now? She won. She had two things going for her. One, smoking hot.
Gorgeous.
Two, do you know what she does for a living? Or I guess she probably did for a living, because there's no way she still does it anymore.
I don't remember. I feel like she works with kids or something, right?
I'll give you a hint. She's a doctor of some sort. Do you want to take a guess what type of doctor?
No.
She's a physical therapist.
Oh, you still calling yourself a doctor? Got it.
I fucking hate you. So yeah, so she had those two things going for her. But then the third thing, and I remember very specifically, she showed up with a little like Oscar Mayer wiener whistle, and she was like, ooh, hopefully this won't be the only wiener on the show, because I'm from Weiner, Arkansas, and I'm going to lick your wiener, something to that effect.
I don't think she said anything about licking his wiener.
There was definitely multiple wiener jokes in her thing. And I remember like ranking her very...
But I don't think she said anything about his actual wiener.
That killed me. That was absolutely brutal. So you
never
know.
That showed up in the shark costume. Remember that girl?
All the costumes are so weird. I just want somebody to talk to me normally. Like I always say when you're watching like the debates, I don't know if you guys have been watching this, but like I just wish any of them would just talk normally and stop using that voice to tell everybody, like just talk normal. I would just turn and be like, no, that's not what happened. Like I just want people to talk normally to me. That's what I want in The Bachelor. That's what I want in my debates. That's what I want with you right now.
I mean, I'm giving all of that to you. But I do have to say, I think these guys that came, 95% of them did something just like regular. There was very few like BS, like first meets. A lot less than I feel like other seasons.
True. Do you know what they also brought a lot of this season specifically? A lot of diversity, am I right?
It's a lot of diversity and a lot of loafers.
Yeah, the shoes thing I thought was weird. I didn't want to get into that, but between the African American...
You didn't want to get into the capris and the loafers?
I don't judge their clothing. I'm glad they always have, an African-American contingent, which is great. It just feels like there's multiple Asians, and God bless, they even brought on multiple gay people. Did you see that?
What are you talking about?
There's at least 2 guys there that are guns blazing homosexual.
You're out of your mind.
I'll pick them out for you next time. I'm just saying, I'm glad they could represent that community.
You're wrong. You're totally wrong.
All right. I got one more question for you before we get to the fun part. Chris Harrison, yay or nay? Take that however you want. Yay. You love him as a host.
I love him all the way around.
All the way around. Okay. I feel like he's phony baloney.
No, I think he's like super cute. He's great with the show. He's great with the contestants. I love all of the.
He's their best friend until he's not.
Dramatic season ever,
Okay, I can't stand that. I cannot stand this has never happened ever on The Bachelor or Bachelorette every single time.
I think that's what's about to happen.
Every season there's something that's about to happen because there's never been a Claire. There's never been a Colton. There's always never been that person.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know.
But I love him. You don't like him?
I just feel like he's really phony. Like know what he does?
So who would you want as the host?
Dr. Alan Snyder would be an incredible host of The Bachelor. Just putting that out there.
Try again. Who else?
I know. I would definitely diddle or get diddled. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know who I can pick out.
You're a lawsuit ready to happen.
You know what? I will say no, because when I am working, I am the utmost professional person. But if I was on that show, I would probably have to be a single man. Something else that I can't help but bring up is, now, do you remember when Alabama Hannah was on the show and everybody had a K at the end of their name? Like it was Tyler and Chris Harrison. Is it just me? Do you do that ever? Because anytime I ever meet any Tyler I meet now these days, I'm like, oh, hi, my name's Alan. They're like, hi, my name is Tyler. I'm like, hi, Tyler.
No, nobody else does that. It's really just you.
And of course, they don't know the jokes. I'm like, oh, and then they're like, did you just put a K on my name? I'm like, what did he just do?
Yeah, no, that one's 100% you. Because it's just Tyler.
So far, you're the meanest guest I've ever had on this show, Randy. I mean, you're really taking it to the streets tonight. Oh, there it is. Okay.
You're so obnoxious.
All right. Well, you're familiar with the format of this show, that you know that we're going to have some trivia coming up next.
I'm ready.
I didn't want to make the show too bachelory for people. Anybody who doesn't watch the show or thinks it's stupid, you can listen to the first part of this episode, and that wasn't so bad. Now is where you might want to turn off, because this is all Bachelor trivia, but I'm going to make it easy enough so people can get it. Hopefully, as a true fan, you're going to smoke this, okay?
I'm a little nervous now.
You'll be good. All right.
Okay.
Question number 1. Jordan Rogers and Jesse Palmer were both on the show. I don't know if they were contestants or if they were winners or how it worked. The 2 of them are famous for something. Football. What position did they play?
Quarterback.
Both of them were quarterbacks?
Yes.
Final answer?
Final answer.
See, that was a Chris Harrison reference, because do you know he hosts the daytime Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, I don't have time to watch TV during the day.
Neither do I. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. They were both quarterbacks. Their careers were both lackluster, to say the least.
I know, but now Jordan Rogers has like a super hot fiance, so good for him.
Yay for him. Question number 2. Wells Adams, who I'm not exactly sure, as far as I know, because I've only been watching for a couple years. He's the bartender on Bachelor in Paradise, but apparently he was on the show as well. He is currently engaged to somebody super famous. Do you know who that is?
Sarah Hyland.
Who is from?
The show. It's a sitcom.
I need a name.
Can't think of a name. No, you don't. I gave you the person.
The person was not the question, and so are these. They've all been 2-part questions, my dear.
I can't remember the name of the show.
Describe it. You watch the show and don't know the name.
It's been a long day.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I'll give you half a point. You got a half a point for not knowing Modern Family. Yes. All right. I can't hear you so much. Talking to your whatever. I hear nothing now. Oh, I got you.
Me.
I got you. Okay. Question number 3. Where is the Bachelor Mansion located?
Right now or before COVID time?
The normal Bachelor Mansion, not the one right now.
It's in California.
I'll accept California. I was hoping that you would know exactly where. Correct answer is Agora Hills, California. So there you go. You get a point for that.
Thanks.
It is a 7,500 square feet Bachelor Mansion, or mansion, I guess you just call it. As somebody in the real estate world, that has to be appraised for pretty high, no?
Very high.
Very high. They're high.
Many, many, many millions.
Question number 4. Where is The Bachelor in Paradise filmed?
Mexico.
The correct answer is Playa Escondida in Mexico. Correct.
I
Very
get a point for that.
You got a point. Just so you know, if you ever want to take me there, or your husband, I guess for now, until that virus comes, it is $4.95 a night. You can rent a little Puebla or on the playa.
That's super cheap. It's not that bad.
That is not that bad at all. All right, last one's going to be a little harder. It's a 2-parter.
I'm ready.
I'm going to give you plus or minus 3 for both questions. You just have to be within 3.
Okay.
First question, part 1, is how many total seasons have there been of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette put together? So,
okay.
Total seasons.
Okay.
Do you want to give me the answer now, or you want me to give you the second part?
Give me the second part.
How many of those couples are still together to this day?
Okay.
You got to get both right.
I feel, oh God, I want to say like 17 seasons. I think. I mean, I don't know. Been so many.
Do one and then the other.
Okay.
I'm basically asking you how many seasons of The Bachelor, how many seasons of The Bachelorette, and then you can add those numbers together. Your husband's an accountant. Get him. Get the calculator out. You guys can do this.
I mean, I'm going to guess because honestly, I really don't know. I would say probably close to like 30 seasons.
Okay, 30
probably
seasons.
Been like 15 Bachelorettes, this,
And how many, Bachelors? So you're going with 30. So 15 and 15?
I'm going to go with 30.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's equal. I think I'll go with 30.
Okay.
And how many couples are still together? I want to say...
Right now. I looked this up today.
I'm going to go with 12.
12. All right. Well, the good news is there's been way more episodes of The Bachelor that you haven't seen, apparently. So
no, it's not true. I've seen them all.
The good news is there's way more out there. There are 40 seasons. So it's 24 seasons of The Bachelor, 16 seasons of The Bachelorette, so not as many. The bad news is that, so you thought it was it was more than a third. So 12 out of 30 is how much you thought it was. There are way less couples that are still together. Of the 40, there is 1 couple from The Bachelor that is still together and 5 from The Bachelorette that are still together for a grand total of 6 out of 40.
Wow. I guess I was possibly also thinking about some Bachelor in Paradise couples, which I guess doesn't count.
No, so you got to listen to the question. I mean, I tried to give it to you right
there.
there.
All right. Trick question.
Well, that was not a trick question. Well, you did pretty well, right? Because I gave you 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3. 3.5 out of 5 isn't terrible.
Not bad. And one of them was a sports question.
That was the number 1. It was the easiest one. Everybody knows. Even if you don't know Jordan Rodgers, everybody knows Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, and you just have to be like, yeah, of course he's a quarterback. Like he's also they're white, which is most of the white guys that are famous are quarterbacks. I'm not wrong.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice that there's more diversity now in sports, and you're having more other ethnicities that are becoming quarterbacks and are the best players. But yeah, like old white guy is always a quarterback.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, thanks for playing. Better luck next time on Who Wants to Be a Daddy Air?
Do I get a prize?
Yeah. Okay, I'll play the game. What would you like as your prize?
I
didn't hear anything. Say it again.
Are you ready?
Are y'all ready for this?
Okay. I want to have a meal with you and you not to critique it as my prize.
Oh my God. I didn't critique it. You took me to your favorite place and was like, it's the best, right? It's the best. How is this? Let's order everything on the menu. Everything on the menu is the best, right? And all I said was, I really enjoyed this, and this. The other two were just okay.
Okay, that's one example. You talk shit about every good restaurant everywhere.
What do you
Your
mean?
taste is not so great.
Well, I like you, so maybe you're right.
I'm talking about food.
Well, I've eaten your food before. You make mozzarella sticks like nobody's else. All right. Well, Randi, this has been a lot of fun. I enjoyed having you on. This is your time. Tell me, what do you want to say to the podcast listeners? What do you want to say to the world right now?
Well, thank you for having me on. I said I wasn't nervous, but then I got nervous because there was a lot of questions, but it was fun. I hope we can recap Bachelorette at the end of the season.
We can probably do something like that. I just know that this season is going to get very wonky, and I don't know how much I really wanted to like recap the season, but we'll talk about it.
I mean, there's going to be another Bachelorette.
That's kind of where I was. Yeah. I'm trying to stay out of the tabloids of what's happening, like who's getting there and who's getting engaged. I don't know. This whole season's all messed up. So I don't know if this is exactly the right place to do that, but we can talk about it.
What the hell else are you going to talk about?
I got stories for days, baby girl.
All right. Well, just saying. Nobody's as fun as me.
This has been a great time. Wait, what did you just say? What was that last part?
Nothing. Nothing.
I thought you said, like, I'll bring Marnie on. I was like, okay, I would love to have Marnie as a guest appearance.
It's way too late. So
it's definitely too late. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the episode. Make sure you download us, give us a good rating, subscribe. Randi Tanenbaum. Love you, babe.
Love you.
Mwah.